So currently, the Obama administration and the Senate Intelligence Panel are in a little bit of a war over a report that's supposed to detail some of the enhanced interrogation methods that took place during the Bush administration. Now, the reason why there's a little bit of a battle is because the Obama administration and the CIA have both decided that it makes sense to redact certain information from the report in order to protect our national security, because that's usually the reasoning they give when something shady happens, right? But members of the Senate Intelligence Panel are saying, look, you have redacted so much information, including pseudonyms and particular places and locations, that we don't even understand what the report says. It's difficult to decipher any real information in it. So let me give you an example. Lawmakers seem willing to accept some redactions, but others made by the CIA and the White House would make it difficult or impossible to understand the subject being discussed, especially when a pseudonym appears in multiple references, said the knowledgeable person who requested anonymity because of the matter's sensitivity. This is according to McClatchy, which covered this story in great detail. So it's really fascinating because, I mean, this is an important report. Obviously, we have an issue when it comes to enhanced interrogations like waterboarding. And that's what we should call it, waterboarding, because enhanced interrogations makes it sound fluffy.
It sounds nice, right?
Yeah,
You're
like enhanced interrogation.
Yeah, it's a nice chair. You're going to ask me some questions.
You're going to put on some mood music, little track lighting.
Little Fiji water.
No, we're going to hook your balls up to a car battery, and then we're going to take turns drowning you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take the regular interrogation. Don't make a fuss over me.
Door number 3, Carol Merrill.
That's right.
Now, Senator Martin Heinrich is upset with the redactions, and he says the following to McClatchy. He says, redactions are supposed to remove names or anything that could compromise sources and methods, not to undermine the source material so that it is impossible to understand. Try reading a novel with 15% of the words blacked out. It can't be done properly.
A little context here right now is that the Congress and the CIA are not getting along very well right now, especially the Senate Intelligence Committee and the CIA. So they're going to be going after the CIA, and it actually gives them an opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise had to get things out of Central Intelligence that Central Intelligence may be more willing to give because they owe something to the Senate Intelligence Committee right now. It's a little wonky and a little confusing, but because of the sort of spying that went on by the CIA of the Senate Intelligence and the senators, there's a little bit of friction between them right now. So what this committee is doing in calling out the CIA is trying to get as much as they can at a time when it's most opportune for them. So I think that it's good that they're doing this, that Heinrich is saying these things. I mean, that whole idea of reading a novel with 15% of it missing.
It's a great point.
It's a great point. I mean, again, now we get into the pseudonyms, though. Maybe the pseudonyms are as important not to reveal as the actual names are that have been pseudonymized.
Well, they make the point in this news report that they're redacting, meaning they're blacking out all the names of places, of countries that helped us do all the torturing, of the people, even the people who were tortured. So this is about, what they say in this article, this is about people and the places that it happened, and if you black all that out, it's just a bunch of verbs describing shit that isn't attributed to anybody, which is the whole point of this report, to attribute some sort of culpability and assign some sort of blame and tell the story of what happened. And you can't tell that story because the story is about where and who it did it and who it happened to.
Yes, and look, this is all about accountability, right?
Yes.
Is the CIA going to face any type of accountability, any type of consequences for the waterboarding that took place? If you can't have a report with all the information necessary for the Senate Intelligence Committee to kind of decipher whether or not something makes sense, an interrogation policy makes sense, then how are you going to decide what you're going to do going forward, right? So specifically waterboarding, that did not yield the results that the CIA wanted. It led to false information, misleading information. When you are torturing someone, they're just going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. So you're not going to get factual information. And that's part of the problem here. If they're redacting information necessary for the Senate Intelligence Committee to actually analyze what the CIA did during the Bush administration, how do we move forward?
It's not just the CIA either, it's the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, which is important because a lot of it was from the administration and not from the agency.
Right.
So just to point, it doesn't make it any better. I'm just saying that it's shared responsibility.
And can I make the point, you say that it gives us bad information, torture, and it gave us the wrong information. So the point that I think Dick Cheney and the people who ordered torture and carried it out, what they want us to think is that we're just trying to get information. Yeah, we're willing to torture people to get it. That's not what they were doing. What they were doing was torturing specific people on purpose to get them to lie, to get them to say that Saddam Hussein was working with Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden so we could justify our invasion of Iraq that was for oil. So people get caught up with, well, does torture really work? Does it not? We know it doesn't work. The experts have always known it doesn't work. The reason they ordered torture wasn't to help keep us safe or protect us or get information from these terrorists. It was to make them say that the reason we invaded Iraq was okay. And they wouldn't say it. They wouldn't say it. That one guy, that Zubaydah, what was they tortured him? Abu Zubaydah. 180 times they tortured him. And if torture really works, what are you still asking him on the 180th time? That you forgot to ask him on the first 179th time? Okay.
Yes. You asked if you could make a point. So,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, look, there might be some negotiations. There is a possibility that the Senate Intelligence Committee will get some of the information that they need. But when 15% of the report has been redacted, it's really difficult for them to analyze anything. So right now, the CIA is in that battle. They do say that maybe they could meet somewhere in the middle. We'll see how it goes.
Is that
but
funny?
Considering the fact that, look, the Obama administration's platform included huge criticisms of the Bush administration.
Transparency. We promised transparency.
And this is exactly against what you had in your platform.
Right.
So I guess we'll see how it plays out. But we know that waterboarding didn't work. It's absolutely, without question, torture. Doesn't matter what Cheney says, doesn't matter what the former Bush administration has to say. It was exactly what we were saying it was. It was torture, led to false information, was not helpful, and there should be consequences for that.